Anna, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hi, Anna. Perfect. Hold that microphone down, and then it's gonna flash red. And once it flashes green, you can talk into it. Oh, press it again. Now talk into
Okay,
it.
can you hear me? Anna?
Yes, I can. I'm just
Okay,
unable to find get my video on.
That's
Um
oh.
are you on a laptop?
Can you
I
see
am.
us?
I cannot see you, nor is my video.
Try
Oh
now.
yes, now hi, now I can see you.
Okay.
I just
This is the
hang
first.
on.
Yeah. All right.
I'm just
Perfect.
trying to figure out what's up with my camera.
All right, no worries. Our camera was turned off. As long as we can hear you, that's pretty much
If you're on a laptop, sometimes at the top of your,
raining. Okay, here we go. I am going to call the Town of Groton Performing Arts Commission special meeting of Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024 to order, and it is 6 p.m. A roll call vote of all members. Chair Daniel Gajewski here. Member Christopher Donahue.
here,
Um, Member Radette told me he is unable to attend this evening, and Member Trusky.
Here.
All right, we are at quorum with 3 members. And now we will move into new business. Adoption of rules. I have a motion ready for us, so I'm going to read that motion. The
Sure.
motion to adopt Robert's Rules of Order newly revised 12th edition as the rules of the Performing Arts Commission of the Town of Groton and adhere to the mission adopted by the Groton Town Council, which states to expand, enhance, and champion the arts in all its various forms, research how to create more indoor and outdoor arts related events throughout Groton, and to work with already established town programs and divisions on arts related activities and events, and to work together to expand recreational opportunities for all residents of Groton in order to celebrate the cultures, differences, diversities, and backgrounds of all Groton residents. So moved. There's a second.
I second that.
Moved by Gajewski, seconded by Donahue. Is there any discussion on the rules?
One question,
Yes, Commissioner Donahue.
does I know we're performing arts, but do the visual arts are included?
I think it's
Visual
just
art?
performing arts for this one, isn't
It's
it?
performing arts, but can't visual also be a performance as well?
Well, that's my question, I don't know.
Yeah,
Well, I say I think we can cover it as
Okay.
well. So yeah,
Um,
this is a brand new commission.
Brand new,
So
okay.
our
Yeah.
guidance is kind of like we're precedent setters.
Yeah. I
So
oh, I'm gonna raise my hand.
yep, you're
Um,
all good. Commissioner Trusky.
you can't see me raising it because you can't see me at all.
Yep.
Yeah, so I at first kind of had thought it would be a good I just wanted to provide a little, just comments about what we were just saying that at first I thought, oh yeah, let's have all the arts. And then I said, wait a minute, it says performing arts. Okay, so we're focusing on performing arts. And then I kind of thought it might not be a bad idea to go ahead and focus just on performing arts, give it a kind of a year to get up and running, and then like add another person who is an expert in more of the visual arts and has more experience than we do in that, since our experience is performing arts, and just kind of build on it once we've gotten something kind of established, like it for dance, singing, instrumental music, and theater, which I would say are performing arts, and comedy, and anything that involves movement and speech and all that stuff on stage.
Yeah, and
Um,
yep. Sorry to interrupt, but
oh no,
I am reading the council's missions for us, and it says the Groton Town Council, which it states to expand and enhance and champion the arts in all its various forms. So I
That's what
think
it
that
says.
could
Okay.
be, yep, that's what's in the motion that was seconded by Mr. Donahue. So I think we can definitely talk about that further in the goal session of the commission, which is item 3.3. So
Mhm.
I just kind of want to adopt the rules real quick, just so we
Good.
can,
Yeah,
and I
sure,
have
of course.
I have my Robert's Rules of Order. So are there
Yep.
any questions on the rules slash mission?
No, not really. I mean,
All right.
obviously we'll be defining it more as we go along.
Yep. All right. Hearing no more discussion, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of the adoption of the motion on the floor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 I,
Aye. All opposed? Abstentions? Hearing none, that motion carries 3-0 to 0. Now, our next order of business is a creation of the meeting calendar. This is technically a special meeting. We do not have a calendar. And in my discussion as the chair with the town clerk's office, they recommended setting a meeting calendar. Traditionally, meeting calendars in the town of Groton, they meet on a specific day of the month. So for example, the RTM, I believe, meets on the second Wednesday of the month every month. So Commissioner Redette provided me with his availability. He said Monday before normally there's not really like a set time. I would honestly prefer if we kind of didn't have a set time, just kind of like a set date.
Mhm.
So Commissioner Redette is fine to work Monday before 2 p.m., Thursday before 2 p.m., Friday anytime, and Wednesday from like the 4:30 to 5 o'clock range. I personally, the only days because of my council responsibilities, I cannot meet on Tuesdays. So that is a no-go for me. So I was just kind of wondering what is the availability of each kind of commissioner for the creation of the meeting calendar?
okay, I'm not available Monday afternoons between, like 2 and 4. And I am not available on Tuesday and Thursday evenings through the end of October. Then starting in November, I am not available after 2 through the evening on Monday, nor on Tuesday and Thursday evenings.
Okay.
And then in December, I'm not available again, the Monday and the Tuesday and Thursday evenings. Plus the third week in December, I will pretty much not be available at all because I have a show going up
Okay.
um
So
that week.
based on your dates, I'm hearing Wednesday is a good day for you.
Yeah,
Commissioner
for the most part, yep.
Commissioner Donahue.
Wednesday should be good.
Okay. All right. Wednesday should be good. And so it doesn't really matter. Today is the first Wednesday of the month.
Yeah.
So, Wednesdays do work for me. So that actually sounds Wednesday. So I would look, so hearing Wednesdays, how that kind of works for everyone, I will look a favor upon a motion. And I'm thinking we meet monthly to start.
Monthly.
Most
Sounds
commissions meet on a monthly basis. The only ones, sometimes a commission will meet 2 times a month. The max anybody ever meets is 3 times a month. So, but I think 1 month, once a month to start would be acceptable for our commission. And if I need to, as chair, and at the request of commission members, we can always call a special meeting if we have important work to be
Okay.
doing. So
sure.
it does allow some flexibility. So I will look upon a favor of a motion to adopt the Performing Arts Commission meet on the first Wednesday of the month.
That sounds good.
I need somebody to make that motion.
No.
I'm so sorry. I make the
You're
motion
good.
that we meet once, the first Wednesday of the month on a monthly
Okay.
basis.
First
Except-
Wednesday.
I second it.
Seconded, so moved by Commissioner Trusky, seconded by Commissioner Donahue. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing no further, oh,
I have no further comments.
okay, yep. Normally you're supposed to make the motion first, but,
Okay.
we had to kind of go backwards, kind of get everybody, 'cause it's the first time we've been in the room, so, we're gonna make, hearing no further discussion, I'm gonna call for a vote. All those in favor, please, all those in favor of creating the Performing Arts Commission meet the first Wednesday of the month, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed? Abstentions? That motion carries 3-0. The town clerk's office will be happy. And now our next order of business, this is gonna kind of be a little bit of a free-for-all session, a little bit. This is the goal session of the commission. I do, there are gonna be no motions with this, just
Okay.
because I just kind of want to get an idea of where each commissioner stands. Commissioner Redette emailed me his, his goals for the commission. And yeah, that is going to be, pretty much, so I'm gonna open it up the floor, and I would love to hear your ideas. I'll be taking some notes down. I encourage you to do the same, so, and then this will also be on, the Groton Municipal Television, so we can look back and see what was discussed for any of you there. So I'm gonna open it up, to individual commissioners, to share their goals for the commission. Would anyone like to volunteer to go first?
I just wanted to share
Commissioner
one of
Kresge,
the.
yeah, go ahead.
Yes, thank you.
You're
Um,
welcome.
So I feel that and I mentioned this when we discussed the like, thoughts we had about, 2-year plans and 5-year plans in our earlier conversation that we had. I think one of the critical things for performing arts to continue in Groton and to expand in Groton is to identify a venue that can become a dedicated space for performances, acting classes, any kind of classes associated with performance. I think that, so currently, actually not just currently, for the last couple of decades, Groton Regional Theater has been the theater group in Groton. And the group was pretty much dormant during COVID and for a while afterward, and is now operating again at the Thrive 55 Center. And the group has always operated out of the Groton Senior Center, and it's very helpful to have that space. We appreciate very much the availability of the stage that's in the cafeteria, or the room where the RTM meets.
Yep.
But there are also challenges associated with that. We can't get in there anytime we need to. We have to coordinate schedules. It's somebody has to have the key, somebody has to set the alarms, and go through all kinds of protocols. And we can't leave sets up sometimes because of other needs for the room. And it's the bottom line is that we're grateful for the space, and it would be really great to have our own space to do theater in. Like, this would be not just GRT's theater, but it would be a Groton performing arts space that we would operate out of. And I'm sure any other activities that we as a commission would want to initiate are going to need a place to happen. And, sure, there are school auditoriums and there are, rooms here and there, but it would be so wonderful to have a location that was dedicated to that. Now, I don't know what the status of the Fitch Middle School auditorium is. I know that the town is using that for some activities, but it's not really available to be used as a theater. So that would be one of my first avenues of exploration, is to look into that space and see whether it'd be viable to bring it up to code, to, do whatever would be needed for it to become, kind of the center for theatrical and other performance activities in Groton. If that space were not, if we were not feasible to rehabilitate that space and to bring it where it needs to be, which would include ADA compliance and all of that, then I think we need to explore other buildings in Groton that perhaps would lend themselves well to this kind of utilization, and would also have rooms where classes could happen and that type of thing. And that would be great to get younger people involved too. I personally do not know of all the properties in Groton. I don't know.
That's where I can come in a little bit handy.
Now I have this book here, which I would
and
show
co-
you, but
Yeah, and Commissioner Trusky, one of my thoughts was immediately when you started talking about a dedicated space was the former Fitch Middle School Theater, which is now the converted community center. I personally, I don't know what the use for it is now. And I think getting Director Barry involved of Parks and Rec and having him come work with the commission would be really appreciative. And then he could
Yep.
help us get a proposal to the town manager and then on to the town council, the whole deal. So that would be actually super exciting to kind of like open that up, because I agree with you. I've been in the senior center great room. It's a nice space, but it's small, and it's very popular in our community as a space
it's
for meetings.
a lot of activities,
Mr. Donahue.
and I'm sorry.
Yep, you're good.
Yeah, I agree that would be a prime item for us to pursue. I think how I would approach it is there's a similar thing that happened in East Lyme, whereas the East Lyme Regional Theater, which you're probably familiar with, Anna. Well, I know you are.
oh yeah,
And they were under the aegis of the Parks and Recreation Department. So that opened a lot of doors insofar as their being able to operate as a nonprofit with that umbrella, and had the high school auditorium as one of their major venues. I think the goal of having a venue is an excellent one, very difficult. I mean, I think I wrote to you, Dan, when I first saw the church on the top of Fort Hill.
Yep.
Of course, they want $1 million for it. So
Commissioner Donahue, that is my former church.
is it really?
Yeah, it's my former church. It's a beautiful space. It is a
sale?
It is for sale, but it is a massive property. It is a massive undertaking.
Mm.
And speaking from my
yes, I've gone to church there. I know what it's like.
Yeah. It is something that I would be super excited about, but I just don't seeing it being feasible with the price tag, with the current state of the town right now. Just speaking for myself, knowing that there's a deep interest to revitalize the Groton Community Center, I think the Fitch Middle Avenue would be a better avenue to pursue for getting a dedicated performing arts space. Granted, I would love to have a beautiful, massive theater in town that was just its own location, but
It's not, I know
Yeah.
it's not feasible.
yeah.
Unless we
Yeah,
had a really, a big, but I raised that because we need to do now identify the buildings, other buildings
Yep.
that maybe the town already owns, such as this one you've both spoken about. I don't know Fitch Middle School at all.
did you know that, Dan, that Groton Regional Theater is using some, gosh, I'm sorry about the dogs. Hang on, I'm gonna get my dogs out of the room so we can talk, and because if I mute, then I can't talk either, so.
Yep. All right. No
Uh,
worries. So technically, Commissioner Trusky is getting
Her dogs out.
her dogs out of the room, and that does not constitute a quorum. So I'm going to actually call a recess, and then when Commissioner Trusky, if you are ready, you can let us
Back.
know.
I'm
Oh,
back.
never mind. We're back, so I don't even need to call a recess.
Okay.
No,
Perfect.
So I was just actually wondering, the building where the cinema used to be over by Big Y, what's the status of that building?
I have no idea. I
think
know we're talking at
It's
that.
for sale, I think.
So yeah, I don't know if it's for sale or if it's for lease, because I don't know if that's
Yeah.
part of the overall property. I know it is vacant, and I'm assuming it's vacant. I shouldn't say I know it's vacant. I'm assuming it's vacant because I have seen on the Groton Community Forum page people like take pictures of the inside. So, but I have no idea. So that is so as a goal, I guess, is we're gonna identify other buildings. So that can be an agenda topic.
Sure.
I do want to mention Commissioner Redette mentioned that he is very involved in the music section of town.
Yep.
And he stated to me in an email that he would like the commission to be liaisoning with the performing arts space being created at the Mystic Noank Library / NACG Foundation. So the Mystic Noank Library may be even a space. And so I do want to kind of emphasize that there are other spaces such as libraries. I'm not sure if there's space at the town library or the building, but somewhere in there. So definitely identify buildings for a permanent location is another goal. Any other goals that are kind of coming to mind?
I have one, if I'd like to put on.
Go
I
right
think
ahead, Commissioner Donahue.
What I'd like to see us do is compile the stakeholders. And by that, I mean the teachers, the students, the parents, the small businesses in town, the large businesses in town, because you may be aware that Pfizer used to have the Pfizer players. They put a lot of money back in, put a lot of money behind it. And so I think we need a campaign to assemble all of these stakeholders and say, here's what we want to do. How will you help? For example, the trade school, Grasso.
Yes.
We need to approach the electrician folks, the building folks, the trades, and say, okay, have some fun doing a theater and get the students involved that way. Get the teachers that are in English, and there must be drama folks. And I'm sorry that I don't have a lot of information myself because I have.
No, totally. But that's why this commission, that's one of
Okay.
the main reasons this commission is.
So
passed.
we need to have kind of public forums with people like teachers of drama in the high schools who are already established, who can reach out to the parents of those students, for example, and get their support.
Mhm.
This kind of thing has been done before successfully and can be done again. And I think Groton is right for that. So you take your small businesses, you start looking for sponsorship. I'm sorry, did you need,
Nope.
Anna?
Oh, yeah,
Commissioner
finish and,
Trusky?
and yeah, you can go ahead and finish your thought,
Okay.
All right,
Kristen.
So
Commissioner Trusky, I have you on deck next.
it's a lot of tedious work in terms of compiling names, creating a campaign. It's kind of almost a political campaign. Where you say, we want Groton to focus on this. And in the midst of our current political campaigns, it's, you need the list of names, you need the mailing list, you need all of these things that are very tedious. It's like doing inventory. Find out who has a stake in our success. Approach them, explain to them, because I believe, and I think you probably both agree with me, that arts in any municipality, any town, any state is fundamentally an economic issue. It spurs growth, it spurs quality of life. So there's so many things. And we have so many nonprofits in the area. And I believe that Groton Regional Theater is a nonprofit, correct, Anna?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. And there's, for example, there are grants from the state to help do these kinds of things, but it's all a matter of compiling the information in order to create the campaign. And I keep saying it's kind of busy, it's not busy work, it's tedious work. It's like inventory. You need to know what you have, where you have it, what's it worth. And so we need to do that, but it's not something that we can just slap down money on and say, okay, give me a feasibility study on turning whatever venue we find into a performance space. Now, you probably already know, I'm coming from a place of business in the sense that when the United Theater, for example, was put together as the arts center it has now become, it took an angel called Chuck, owns the Ocean
Royce,
House.
you mean?
Chuck
Royce?
Royce. Yeah. So he writes, $1 zillion, but Rhode Island also had a $10 billion arts bond issue. And in Connecticut, we have similar motivations for film and theater. I know that the Guard has gotten quite a lot of money from the state. I've written a couple of grants for the film company I'm associated with, and it's there. But it takes diligence and hard work. So that's my 2 cents about that. So I think another goal is identify, like we're identifying a venue, let's identify the stakeholders and compile how we reach them, create. And I don't know if you meant that you don't like a 5 or 2 year plan, Anna, but I think unless you know what road you want to, where you want to go, it's hard to build a map to it, and you have to put times on it. So it's like, by when do we do this? By when do we have all of the high school teachers involved? Do we have their addresses? Do we have their names? Do we know who they are? It's something that I know is in a database somewhere.
Yeah.
So that's a task. It's
hold on. Before I recognize you, Commissioner Trusky, I just kind of want to circle it all back just because I'm taking down a lot of information right now.
So what's my goal?
I have compile a list of all the stakeholders in a campaign for the arts in the community.
Yeah.
Yep. So I have that as a goal. That's I just kind of neatened it up a little bit.
No, that's good. Thank you. No, it's
no
more
problem.
succinct. I tend to talk too much.
Yeah, it's totally fine. So I just kind of want to circle back. So, Commissioner Redette in his email to me, said it was kind of collaborating all the organizations together as a whole. Because I know there's so many organizations out there. I can't. They're just like even when it comes to nonprofits in the area, there's so many that you can't keep track of them all, and it's really hard. And sometimes, like, I've heard of Groton Regional Theater, but I'm like, okay, here we go. Like, what do they do again? It's kind of obvious in the name. So compiling a list of all the stakeholders, and then one of the most recent commissions that was founded was the Beautification Committee. I think that's their title, Beautification Committee. And I was talking to one of their founders. And one thing they did was they created a beautification committee email that was going to be in the hands of the chairman and kind of like emailing individual stakeholders and compiling a list of people that wanted to be involved in it as a whole. So kind of getting all of the resources into one that you can pass down from commission to commission to commission. So that'd be really it's kind of collaborating on two conversations, and Commissioner Radette's email to me later today. So that is it. I'm gonna go back to Commissioner Trusky now.
Okay, just trying to remember what I was gonna say. So one thing to keep in mind is that Fitch High School has quite an enormous auditorium and has their own theater program there. So I guess we'd have to kind of figure out like what would be the reason for reaching out to teachers who are, I'm just trying to figure it out in my head. Like, so if because I obviously we do have to reach out to all the stakeholders, first kind of identify who they are and then reach out to them. And I'm just thinking, so the elementary school teachers and middle school have like auditoriums in their schools and have their own programs, and the high school has their auditorium and has their own programs. And through reaching out to them is the implication that, hey, we're going to have this new space where you can come and do your theater stuff with your kids. Because if that's it, then we have to just think that through. Like what are we offering them, or in exchange for whatever their support would be. Like, I love the idea of reaching out to Grasso and getting people, students with various skills involved once we have the space to come in and help with all of the technical stuff, plumbing and electric and all that stuff. I'm just trying to think through like what are we offering? Like, what is the involvement? How many people do we actually want to have involved in rehabilitating this space, whatever the space is going to be? What's everyone's role is going to be? And then, in other words, I don't want to create a situation where there's a lot of confusion about who's using the space and when and why and how, and everybody wants to do plays there all year long. I don't know. I just want to avoid that kind of situation.
Yeah, and I can, if you don't mind, I can kind of help you on that a little bit.
Okay.
So the town in the last budget cycle, right now what's going on is the schools are planning on renovating the Fitch High School auditorium. And the IT director Kennedy of Groton Public Schools is currently handling that project right now. And I have had, during the budget season, I did have casual conversations with him about it. So that investment is already kind of going into the town, going in for the schools. Yep. So the Fitch High School space is really going to be a nice place of renovation, but it's part of the schools. It's technically not part of the town. So technically what happens when you get spaces, you just Parks and Rec manages it. So but with that one, the school, so say we reach the Fitch Middle auditorium is just in my head right now. So say you wanted the Fitch Middle School auditorium, it's kind of like they manage the schedule for it and who uses it and when uses it, when it's being used, when you can even, assuming you can reserve a standing time for a space and really kind of getting a nice conglomerate of groups together. And when it comes to partnering with what I'm going to mention my goal, and actually, it's good. Commissioner Redette and I both had this is partnering with organizations. So kind of like, maybe uniting smaller organizations, through music and performing arts and saying, hey, do you want to, maybe we can help you kind of creating like events that unite groups together and have them come together and then create an experience. So somebody who works in, um, who works in theater, maybe working with one of those singing performances and discussing, coming together about projecting to an audience, like kind of uniting and creating an overall experience as well. So kind of collaborating the different kind of groups, would be really, nice and kind of like central. The way I envision is I envision as kind of being the central location of all the minor groups within the town where we're the place that they can all come together and just kind of like we're pulling everybody together. So
Yeah.
Is
And
this, are you,
I'm sorry, and I just want to say, when I talked about the trade school, see, I have firm support and belief in trades, in trade education. They can't outsource carpentry jobs to anywhere. And I know more millionaire plumbers than I do millionaire MFAs. Okay. That's where I'm coming from. I'm not saying that we go there to help them create any space or adapt any space or renovate any space. I'm saying building a set. I mean, as you know, I went and helped build a set for the last play, The Nerd, at 55. And I'm really not a carpenter. I do a few things around the house and stuff, but it's sort of like, but these kids are really probably very good. And I think they could get credit for coming and building a set, but we don't know who they are yet. And we don't know who the teachers are who would make that decision to say, hey, okay, class, you carpenters are coming with me. You electricity people are coming with me. We're going to do a show like, I don't know, Steel Magnolias. We need somebody to put plumbing in just for one scene. And they do it.
yeah,
That's what I
for
mean.
you,
But
yeah,
we can't get there. So it's not so much because I have helped build so many venues in my experience, the most recent, which was the East Lyme Theater's home now, which is the former Niantic cinema. And it's a lot of money. And we don't have that yet because we don't even know who to ask. Now, luckily, Ring Lumber, which is right around the corner from there, and on the same street as my brother lived, they gave money to build the entire primary stage.
yeah, I
But
know.
that,
I was there, yeah, watching them. Yep.
yeah, it's fabulous. So we're not there. We're nowhere near there yet.
yeah.
Because we don't
I
even know who
think,
to talk to. But I'm going to
yeah,
tell you that probably there are people around who will help. They just want to be asked. And I don't know what we're asking for them yet, but that's what I'm saying. We identify who they are and
yeah,
then decide what we're asking them.
yeah.
Okay.
Two quick things. So,
Yep.
Yep.
for
Commissioner
GRT,
Trustin.
thank you. GRT used to have people from Grasso come over and help with shows a lot over the years. So that actually, is a great thing to do. There was sadly the woman passed away who used to do this, but she used to the woman who ran the cosmetology program over at Grasso used to have her hairdressing and makeup students come and do hair and makeup for shows at GRT and stuff like that. So that model is very effective. And I would definitely love to see that come back again for set building and everything.
All right. So
And
just kind of just what
Wrap it up. Yeah.
not to wrap it up, but
No.
just to get it concise down, I have educating the community and providing learning opportunities as a goal. Is
sure.
that kind of
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
And-
It's a
and just-
second step.
Yeah.
I think the first step is compiling who they
But-
are.
Yeah.
So
Okay, I'm gonna make that first step. Second step. Okay. All right, we're good.
bless you.
Thank you. Commissioner Trusky, I see you have your hand raised. What would you like to talk about?
So I think that I'm looking at kind of a chicken and an egg situation with what we're doing. Do we raise awareness and start fundraising and everything and then find a venue, or do we identify a venue and then and decide, do whatever needs to be done to ascertain that venue can in fact be used with the right work being put into it, and then say, hey, we want to renovate the such and such location, and we're looking for all of this support in order to do that. Like, is that?
That's a really good question. I guess it's, what would the commission's priorities be? Would be finding a space, or if I don't know, like, kind of what's our priority? What's our number one thing we're going to do first? Because I think, to kind of piggyback off that question, that makes me think that, sorry, no, I can't get it out. Commissioner Donahue.
Yes, if I can chime in.
You chime in for me. Thank you.
I think the way I would approach this would be, first of all, I've got now 3 goals. We have to sort of bring ourselves to limit it, I think, right now. We're IDing a venue. That'll take some time. We're compiling a stakeholder list, and we are now, the third one is the collaborative groups thing you mentioned that I believe Tom Redette also said.
Yep.
So that means we got homework. Until we know any of this, we can't do we don't know which is the chicken and which is the egg. Because if we have enough people we can sort of reach out to, I think getting them all in the room and have a presentation of what we're trying to achieve, it'll happen. Not automatically, but somebody might say, hey, I'll do that, or hey, I'll do that. And we probably need a few more people on committees. I mean, the 3 of us can talk about this, and I think this is great. I think it's wonderful. But I think a plan is always what I like to see.
Okay.
With timelines attached.
Okay.
So how many months from now do we have a list? How many months from now do we have we identified and figured out what is a appropriate venue? How do we schedule these groups? We got to identify them first.
Got it.
So this is to me, this is a lot of homework.
Okay. So I'm thinking for an agenda item for our next meeting is creation of plan to establish the Performing Arts Commission in the community.
Yes.
Okay.
We need to announce who we are, why we're about, and all of that.
All right.
So there's a little bit of PR there too.
Agenda item.
Do you agree with that, Anna?
Well, I have 2 thoughts. And I'm going to wait till I'm formally recognized before I start.
Oh, sorry,
blathering
Commissioner
away.
Trusky, go right ahead. Thank you.
No, because I can just start talking and yammering away. So my first thought is that, why not get together with, John Barry? Is that his name?
Mark Berry.
Mark Berry. Is there any reason why the 3 of us and the other gentleman who's on, David, is that his?
Commissioner Redette. Yeah.
Commissioner Redette.
Yep.
Is there any reason why we could not, the 4 of us plus Mark Berry could not go and take a look at the Fitch Middle Auditorium and kind of just, I mean, so that auditorium is here, It's in the community center
Yeah,
building.
hold on.
Groton Regional-
Sorry to interrupt you. This is kind of just where I was thinking. I really kind of haven't said it yet, though. What I was thinking is have, because we'll have to have a vote on that, in order to do that. So just as a formality, what I was thinking is we invite Director Barry to our meetings and to discuss, maybe the current state of the performing arts in the Parks and Rec department, and then discuss with him possible locations as another agent, possible locations where the commission could expand to. So just kind of going in that realm, what I was thinking is inviting Director Barry to one of our meetings where he could come and present to us of what has going on in the community. That gives us a better idea and what ideas he would have for a performing arts space in the community. Because for all we know, he could be working on something right now. He just hasn't revealed it to the public yet. Or he's been waiting for us to say,
him.
hey, what do you guys want? So, but
Yeah, we really need communication.
yeah, so definitely communication. So, meeting with Director Barry about current state. So I will reach out to him. Current
Yes.
state of,
Because if it would be possible for us to look at that space.
yeah, and then
Together?
so here's what, here, I'm just kind of, yeah, definitely look at that space together. Definitely, and then also, the current state of the arts in the schools. I don't know who like kind of oversees that, but I know Commissioner Donahue was kind of mentioning with that. So even discussing, so getting like the two main stakeholders, the schools in the town currently, the schools and the Parks and Rec Commission, Parks and Rec Director, sorry, of who kind of manages is that, and then discussing, hey, what do the schools need in the arts commission? What are the schools like? What are the schools doing now? What is Parks and Rec doing now? And then even yeah, that's about it. Commissioner Donahue.
Yes, I just want to say, and I'm sorry again, I have to feign ignorance. It's really the right thing to say, but the superintendent should we not be talking to the superintendent of schools and say, what's going on with all the schools in terms of their arts?
Yeah, I'm assuming I should know the answer to this. I'm assuming there's going to be, they're going to have somebody that's centrally located, like I don't think it'll be the superintendent per se,
Okay,
doing
but
the,
somebody on his staff or.
yeah, so just a staff, maybe the
Or
director of the
his-
drama club or something like that, or a music teacher or something, somewhere along those lines of, what's going on with theater in the school. And it doesn't have to be the superintendent, it could be the assistant superintendent, it could be a curriculum coordinator, it could be someone along those lines. There's somebody
The
that,
band directors,
band directors,
the,
yeah.
the drama teacher, the English teachers.
Mhm.
I mean, these have to be like available names and what.
Oh, yeah, 100%. It's just, you have to, it's a quick email for me saying,
Okay.
hey, so, so I just wanna state for the record of what I'm hearing for future agenda items / goals.
Yep.
Establishing a plan of the commission and then meeting with Director Barry to find out the current situation / future of the performing arts in the Parks and Rec department, and then meeting with somebody from the school department regarding the current state / needs of the school department. That's what I have right
Good.
now.
Yep, that's great.
So anything else? Anything? I mean,
Additionally,
yeah, anything additionally? I think this is a really good start. But I don't want to cut anybody off. So, you know what? Let me just do a review real quick of what I have, and then how about Commissioner Donahue, if you have anything that I may have missed or misinterpreted, and same thing with Commissioner Trusky. We could go with that. So, goals of the commission, I have identifying a dedicated performing arts space, compiling a list of all the stakeholders and developing a campaign for the commission, partnering local organizations, and then educating the community and provide learning opportunities for community members. And then future, future agenda items, establishing a plan for the commission. So that kind of is like establishing a future plan with a timeline for the commission. And then another one, meeting with Director Barry to learn about the current state and possible future plans of the performing arts in the Parks and Rec Department. And then the exact same thing with the school department as well. I do want to, Commissioner Redette had one more goal that has not been mentioned yet. He was, wanted to know about the possibility for town aid for performing arts nonprofits. It's not, it's something that,
Town aid?
town aid
Okay.
isn't, I would say, out of the realm of possibility. I know, the town currently provides funding to local outside organizations, such as Children First Groton, the Mystic and Noank Library, the Bill Memorial Library, and stuff like that. So possibly, looking at ways, and these are small, these are relatively small dollar amounts to the
Oh,
whole
yeah.
budget as a whole. But even like, $5,000 to a music organization or $5,000 to a theater organization. So, I mean, it's not much in the grand scheme of things, but it does help. It's a type of service. So I did want to just put that out there from Commissioner Redette. So, yep.
I would,
And then I'm going to go to Commissioner Donahue first for anything that I may have missed and anything else that we may have.
no, I think you, everything we've already done, if you will indulge me, I want to add one more possibility.
All right. Yeah.
We
Perfect.
didn't talk, I talked a little bit, but not specifically approaching the business community.
Approaching business.
A-
Okay.
And I don't.
I'm gonna, sorry to interrupt you. I'm gonna put that with partnering, with
Good.
organizations, and I'll put
Collaborating
in
groups.
parentheses, partnering with businesses. Yep.
And I know that, does the Chamber of Commerce in Mystic come this far?
They do. As a,
Bruce Flax and
yep,
his.
Bruce Flax is the president. He's the former mayor of the town of Groton.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yep. I've known him my whole life. I do know, Commissioner Redette had reached out to me before he was even a member of the Performing Arts Commission with his music organization, reaching out to the chamber about doing something about. So even, partnering with organizations, the chamber is
Make sure
one.
the chamber's in there.
So yeah, that's a really good idea as well. And the chamber, they have I believe there is Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce, so they really do expand,
Good, okay.
into, and Mystic is technically a technical term is a fire district in the town of Groton, but
Right.
really they're a village as a whole. But they are part of the town of Groton.
Sure.
So, it's really just kind of, that's a really good idea. All right, I'm gonna take it back to you, send it back to you.
No, I think you hit everything
Okay.
that I talked about. I just want to make sure that we include those kind of folks. Because the businesses need to be asked.
Mhm. Yeah.
To be involved. They like to know. And he's very good at, I will tell you, for example, when I helped start the Mystic Film Festival, the chamber at the time, Bruce didn't run it at the time. It was a woman.
I can't, I know her, I know her face. I know what she looks like, but
and
I can't.
They tried to give advice to the founder of it,
Mhm.
and she kind of rejected their advice.
Okay.
And that was not a good thing. So I really want to just emphasize our
Willingness and partnerships with.
everyone, because if I say to you, I'm having this film festival, and they say, you should do it here
Mhm.
and not here
Yep.
during the year. And that's why it's so important for us to be able to reach out and say to Mark Barry, what are you doing?
Mhm.
Because we want to help.
Yeah.
We don't know how we want to help. This is what we want to do. Can you help us? And you start to build those collaborations, because otherwise, she went off on her own, and it's okay, but Mr. Professor was not making great waves.
Mhm.
And I think I want Groton Performing Arts to be there
Okay,
and making waves.
all right.
My 2 cents.
Yep, Commissioner Trusky.
Hey. So, pardon me. So gosh, excuse me.
Bless you.
No, it's just a little tickle in my throat.
Okay,
Yeah, I think that sounds good. I think, with the order in which I kind of see things happening in the most ideal way would be, again, to have a place, figure out what it would cost to get it the place where it would need to be, and then reach out and say, okay, this is what we want to do. This is our plan. We want you to be part of it, and have something for them to get on board with, because it's such a very clear and concrete goal to show them. I also would want to be sure that, Groton Regional Theater has been around for several decades in Groton, and I any kind of venue that would be that would end up emerging from this whole process, I would hope that GRT would be able to do our shows there, as well as be a resource for the community as far as helping develop events and types, shows and fundraisers and things like that for other groups in town. Because, we do have a lot of expertise here that's already here. And to reach out to drama teachers in schools who are already doing their own programs in schools with their own theaters and things like that just doesn't make sense to me, but that's just me.
okay. All right.
I mean,
Thank
at least right off the bat,
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah, from what I'm gathering, from what you're saying is you want us to kind of have like a concrete plan in place before we start expanding, in a sense, as well.
Well, yeah, and I just also think to get any kind of excitement from the community and any kind of buy-in from business leaders and, civic organizations and schools and anything, it's nice to kind of, how sometimes people will say we have this capital improvement project, and there'll be
Yep.
like a drawing of what a place is going to look like, what the dream is for this place, and then it's like, here, this is what we want to do, and we want you to kind of help us achieve our vision, and for the good of the whole community, kind of thing. But it's nice to have that kind of little hook to hang your hat on when you get started, if that makes any sense. So I don't know, that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah,
But
all right. Perfect. All right. I have nothing else. Does anybody have anything else?
No, I'm good.
nope, thank you.
Okay. I will look upon, then I'm going to move on from goal session of commission, and I will look a favor upon a motion to adjourn.
I so move that we adjourn.
All right, motion by Trusky,
Second.
seconded by Donahue. It is not debatable. All those in favor of adjournment, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Hearing none. The motion passes 3-0. We are adjourned at 6:57 p.m. Thank you,
Okay.
Commissioner Trusky. I am going to shut off the Zoom right now.
All right, thank you. Take care.
Thank
both of
you. Take care. I look forward to seeing you next month.
Yep. Bye-bye.